All right, we are back. I am Tim Ormond. We are now here trying out the setup here at location. So we are at Spot On Restaurant, and all of the equipment that I've been playing around with, setting up, getting to work properly is now right where I want it to actually test it and see how it's going to work on set. So right off the bat, there's so many refrigerators in this place that it hums and buzzes and moans and everything going on. I've tried to turn off, I think, half a dozen fridges. Hopefully I remember to turn them all back on. And it really doesn't seem to be making too much of a difference. So it's going to be interesting to see how the sound quality really works here and how much of that interference you get to hear through the microphone as we're moving along. But it's good to finally get a chance to try out the lights. It actually was a lot more challenging than I expected, getting the lighting set up, and I'm not even sure I'm really happy with it, but we'll keep playing. I might do a hair light just to separate me a little bit and see how that works out. But in the meantime, at least first time we're able to set it up. It did take me a good hour to get things all set up and going. I will say I have to get a better system down. I have to make sure that I'm doing things in a regular order, because right now I don't even know if I'm going to go home with everything that I came with. The other thing, I have to make sure I actually bring everything. I forgot the boom pole today, and so we have an actual broom pole. I guess I left the boom pole, so I have an actual broom pole that we brought with me to set up today so that we can at least get this going. So good lesson there is make it work. Whatever it takes, make it work. So we've got that going today. So let's dive in. Let's just make a nice martini to celebrate the first setup that we've done, see how this thing works out. I hope, again, the focus actually works a little bit today. I do have a monitor I'm hoping that is on the way. But in the meantime, we'll just see what we can work with and see what kind of magic we can make in this space, since this is ultimately where we want to get the videos made for Spot On. So here we are. We are going to make a classic vodka martini. We got a little Grey Goose. We've got your martini dry sex, a little dry vermouth. We're going to get our chilled glass, which is very important, keeping things chilled. The shot glass. Now, you got the two different kinds of shot glasses. These are all the rage for a lot of the bartenders these days. I grew up on this. I'm a kid from the 80s that was so used to seeing what I was pouring and moving through with that. So I tend to fall back onto this. Eventually I'll probably have to get into using something that, once I realize what the actual functionality of with the half ounces and how much faster it's supposed to be for making cocktails. But in the meantime, I'm going to stick with my tried and true and keep that going. So it's a 2-ounce drink, 1 full ounce vodka, and I'm spilling. So the second one, I like to leave just a little bit off the top there, and that is for the vermouth. I don't want a lot of vermouth, but just enough to give you a bit of flavor, and it kind of adds that texture to the cocktail as well, which is really nice. Our ice. Now there's your school of thought of shaking, and then there's stirring. Realistically, you should always stir, because they say it might bruise the alcohol. Whether that's true or not, I couldn't tell you. It's really about the amount of water that is getting into the cocktail when you're shaking it, because you're breaking off little pieces of the ice that are going to end up in the cocktail, and it waters down your cocktail. Generally, you're just trying to chill down the cocktail, so stirring it with a spoon is the proper way of doing it. I just like doing a nice shake. And there we are. Garnish that up with couple of olives, or you can offer a twist, which would be a twist of lemon, and you're off to the races. So there we are. We've finished our first. I'm seeing things that I'm bumping into. We've got refrigerators in the background. Work through some of the kinks of the setup, so hopefully next time it's a lot shorter. There is the hum and buzz of the air conditioner. There's a lot of noises going on, so we're going to have to see how this microphone works, how the setup is going to work, and yeah, hopefully we can work out some kinks. I have a feeling the more I do it, the more I'm going to learn and the better we're going to get at it. So eventually we're going to have some pretty great videos for training purposes, for marketing purposes, and for everything else there. So with that, we're going to call it a wrap.